Hey everyone, it's the Ioniq guy. I've got an update for you all on failing level 2 charging sessions. This is a statement directly from Hyundai and their stance on the matter, and I'm going to share that with you today. So if you want to know what Hyundai has to say about this issue affecting over 36% of Ioniq 5, Ioniq 6, and other EV owners, then stay tuned. So I'm not going to get too much into the details in this video. I recently posted a video where I showed that my Ioniq 5, a 2022 all-wheel drive, failed its level 2 charging session after only about 40-45 minutes when charging at its full charging potential of 48 amps or about 11 kilowatts. Now this issue that I've been tracking for over a year now currently is affecting about 37% of my viewers. A lot of Hyundai EV owners in the United States watch my channel, and with about 900 votes, I'd say that's a fair sample size of Ioniq 5 ownership. Now, for those who don't know, this car is advertised as being able to charge at 48 amps. Now, with level 2 charging for many other EVs, if they say 48 amps, that means it's going to sit there and hold 48 amps through its entire charging session from 0 to 100% state of charge. Now what we're seeing with this car is that in my instance, it charged for about 40 to 45 minutes at 48 amps, and then the charging session completely ceased. The car stopped charging altogether. Now several months ago, Hyundai issued a software update that you can get at the dealership that will prevent the car from not charging at all. It will reduce the charging to about 23 amps, which is significantly less than 48 amps. You're doubling the charging time. Now, charging at 48 amps for 45 minutes, what good does that do you? It doesn't do you much good at all. Don't say that the car can charge at 48 amps for 45 minutes because that just doesn't matter. So knowing that this is affecting so many of you, I've been bugging Hyundai about this for months now, and I did finally get a statement from them. And you're not gonna like it. So Hyundai tells me if a customer has a concern with their vehicle, they need to contact their local dealer. Fine, that's understandable. We have to protect the vehicle first no matter what happens in the future. Yes, I would like my car to be protected so that it doesn't start to burn up in my driveway. We don't want customers only focusing on charge rate being decreased. That happens already with DC charging as temperature gets higher. Customers need to understand it is a new reality with higher AC charging. There will be some reduction when the vehicle inlet gets too hot, and that also depends to some degree on the charger. Beyond this, we cannot promise anything at this point. So, Hyundai's stance is, deal with it. I don't really know how to feel about this. It wasn't the answer I was expecting to get. It's not very reassuring to hear this, considering there are all sorts of EVs on the market that have no problem charging at 48 amps. All you people who can't even charge at 32 amps, guess you're just out of luck. You're just gonna have to charge at 23 amps or lower. I think this position really damages the image of the brand. This is a fast charging car, yet it can't even charge at a mediocre charging speed at home. And I get messages from you folks all the time saying, I need to charge at 48 amps to get what I need for the next day overnight. Some of you don't have the luxury of being able to charge at 32 amps or lower. Personally, for me, I can get by charging on a level 1 15 amp charger. It's not an issue for me. I only do 30 miles per day. I can regain that overnight. But for some of you who do 100, 150, 200 miles a day, you're out of luck, I guess. I know you guys have been talking and sending me links about class action lawsuits against Hyundai for this. I'm not going to comment on that. I'm not going to take part in it. If you guys want to do that, that's your prerogative. I'm not going to be a part of that. Maybe they've implemented a hardware change for the 2024 model year, but for those of you with 2022s and 2023s, I guess you're just out of luck. If you are having issues, I really truly recommend charging at 32 amps, trying that. If that doesn't work, then you're going to want to go ahead and get that update done at the dealership, which will allow the car to continue charging at a lower amperage even after it does overheat. Now, I wouldn't have much of an issue with this software update if, say, the car started out at 48 amps, charged for 45 minutes, started to overheat, it slowly derated the charging session, and then as the charge port cooled off or whatever's overheating cooled off, it can ramp back up a little bit, just kind of dial it into where this sweet spot is. Now, with some EVSEs like my Autel Maxi charger, you can adjust your charging current in 1 amp increments. So if you have an EVSE that is capable of doing that, I would suggest trying that. dial it down until it doesn't overheat anymore, and see if you can get it to hold a charge at a decent charging rate. But if you're somebody that needs all 48 amps or 11 kilowatts of charging power overnight, I don't know. I guess sell your car and get something else, because Hyundai doesn't seem like they're going to help out here. There's always lemon laws in your state if you have a newer car that's experiencing it. I don't really know what the laws are state to state, but that's an option. People have been doing that. This issue specifically really makes me take pause and second guess about recommending this car to people anymore. These cars should not be suffering from these kind of issues. And the fact that Hyundai doesn't really want to help and issue a hardware change or an explanation as to why it's actually happening, I'm really struggling to want to recommend this car anymore. As much as I love my Ioniq 5, I love driving this car, I love the functionality of it, I love the looks of it, but at the end of the day, if you can't charge your car, what else matters? That's the whole point of an EV, is that you can charge at home. And if you can't charge at home at the rate that you want to, that it's advertised as charging to, then I don't really know what to say. This is like buying a gas car with a restriction in the inlet for the gas tank that only takes in half a gallon per minute and it taking 30 minutes to fill up the gas tank on it. And I know many of you have tried multiple chargers with your car. You've tried all sorts of charging currents and the car still overheats. People have already had their charge ports replaced under warranty and the same thing happens. It just keeps coming back. You can't outrun it. And with temperature records being broken every single day, this issue's only going to get worse as time goes on. So I will make this statement. If you have not bought this car yet and you need to charge 200 plus miles per night, do not buy this car. This car is not for you. It is not capable of charging the way it says it can. Go look at any other EV, but do not buy an Ioniq 5, an Ioniq 6, or an EV6, or a Genesis GV60, none of them. And I hate to say that because I love these cars. But if you need to regain big miles overnight, this is not the car for you. Look elsewhere. I don't know. I'm just disappointed that they would leave us high and dry on this issue. They did provide a software update, but the software update didn't do all that much. If you are somebody who could charge at a lower amperage, you could just adjust that on your EVSE or in the touchscreen of the car. You don't really need a software update. You can just dial it in yourself. And this issue does seem to only be affecting North America because of our stupid grid here where we don't utilize three-phase power for residential areas, so you can't charge at a low current here. You have to charge at a super high current as compared to, say, European countries where they can get the same charge rate at a lower current, thus generating less heat in the cabling and the car and everything downstream. Now, I don't have any direct contact with Kia or Genesis, so I can't say for sure that this is going to apply to EV6, Genesis GV60 and the like. Maybe they're planning something themselves, but Hyundai doesn't sound like they're going to help you out with Ioniq 5 or Ioniq 6. And I've heard from many people, too, that they bring their car into the dealership and the dealer says, we can't repeat this issue, so we're not going to do anything about it. So it's a whole boy who cried wolf thing with the car dealers. So it's just people banging their heads against the wall, looking for help, and it doesn't sound like you're going to get any. I'm really tired of reporting on bad news about these cars. It's really a shame. I want to talk about good things. I want to talk about the things that I like, the things that are going well. So hopefully I can report on good stuff going forward. I will be getting the Ioniq 6 for a week in the next few weeks, as well as the electrified Genesis GV70. And then after that, the Genesis GV60 for a week. So I do have a lot more coverage on other EVs from Hyundai. So there is some good stuff coming in the near future. But if you did like today's video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, everyone.